This daily dose of Lambdog has been brought to you by Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. Check him out on podcast.com, Podbeam, iTunes, whatever, man. Get the straight dope from a fan of history. It's Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. So my daughter was recently up in Buffalo, New York with my parents, and she's young still, and she calls me up and says, "Daddy, I'm so excited. I'm going to get to see a buffalo." And I said, "How so?" She said, "Well, I am in Buffalo, New York, so it stands to reason I'm going to see some buffalo." I don't remember if she said stands to reason. That's kind of something I say. I said, "Baby, I'm not so sure that there are actually buffalo in Buffalo, New York." And she asked me, "Well, how can that be?" I said, "Well, it's a bit of a misnomer. There used to be buffalo, but there no longer is." And I said, "Sweetheart, it's part of America's dark history, you know, what we had done to the buffalo." And she called me, maybe it was the next day. She's like, "Wow, there's a bunch of tributes and everything to the buffalo, and it's terrible what happened, and hunted, and this and that." And there are many subjects that I haven't been afraid to bring up with her. And I can't remember when I was growing up if I really heard about it so much. And to be honest, Dan Carlin, whom I have as a sponsor on this particular episode, he had a entry called The American Peril, where he talked about the American history as it pertained to the Philippines, specifically the Philippines, you know, our occupation and the way that we treated Filipinos and what was actually done, and then the process of eugenics and things like that. It's a very interesting talk, so you should check it out for sure. And I'm not just saying that either. I really believe in it, or else I wouldn't be mentioning it. And the other thing about it is that when we went to Tennessee and visited Andrew Jackson's hermitage, the things that Jackson did to the Native American Indians were just atrocious. And I was quite sure, or I made quite sure to point out to my daughter the mistakes that this person that her dad reveres, like Andrew Jackson's definitely one of my favorite people in history, for the good that he's done, how he had this dark side that, man, for almost all intents and purposes, was just evil. The evil that men do. I mean, we could try to justify it and say he was a man of his age, but man, to treat people the way that they did was almost infuriating, you know, just to see. But it's part of our past, and you can't do much about it. And this is the way I try to explain it to her, is you can't do anything about it in the past. All you can do is remember, and you make sure people don't forget. You keep it in context, and you try not to make the same mistakes moving forward. And I think with what we have in front of us, that's the best we can do in this great nation of ours. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all next time.